Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Need a tractor that works as hard as you do? Whether you're baling hay or feeding cattle, a John Deere 6M or 6R from Landmark Implement is built to handle it all. And right now, you can get 0% fixed rate financing for up to 72 months on new in-stock models. That's 6 years with 0 interest on the tractor your operation depends on. Hurry into your local Landmark Implement or visit landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Link to Literacy's 3rd annual Wordstock event will be at Antelope Park on Saturday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a community book swap festival with fun for the entire family and for all ages. Enjoy food trucks, kids' activities, a reading corner with celebrity narrators, including Brian Helton, President and CEO, Director of Parks and Recreation, UNL athletes, and more. And of course, free books for all kids and adults. Go to linktoliteracy.org to get the full story and then make your plans to attend Wordstock.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it. It is Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin and Jay with you for the next couple of hours, 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, you sent me a fantastic rundown, lots of football news to get to, but I got to take the floor this first segment. The Indianapolis Colts have done it again. They've done it again. They made their choice. I am blessed with or plagued by starting quarterback Daniel Jones. It's official. The offseason signing will indeed be taking over as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And let me just begin this conversation by saying congratulations to the Houston Texans for another AFC South divisional crown.
That's it? That's all you got to say?
I would like your opinion first, and then I will give mine.
Well, number one, you shouldn't be that surprised. Daniel Jones.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not even saying I'm disappointed. I'm just saying it's a fact.
Daniel Jones has done more with less. Now, granted, he was definitely overdrafted or got drafted way too high. But He's taken a team to the playoffs, whether you believe it or not. He has. He's played well at times. Now he's played horrible at times as well. And then he's won a playoff game. So when you look at the Colts roster and you look at Anthony Richardson, who's essentially still a rookie, I'd be more surprised if he doesn't start the season. Now, I saw some positives with Anthony Richardson against the Packers in their last game. But do you really feel comfortable with him starting off game 1 and then finishing at 17?
Nope.
I feel more comfortable with Daniel Jones, continue to up his stock as a stopgap starter, really good backup, and you just never know. If they can really coach offense and and devise a scheme to where you can keep Daniel Jones playing to his strengths, and if everybody with the Colts learned their lesson from last year, essentially being happy to be there. Some guys got paid, got a little lazy, but now they should be re-energized and refocused. They could be a problem in that division. I've never really thought Daniel Jones was as bad as people think he is. I think the problem with him is the way he looks. It is.
Okay.
Dude, you need to worry. I mean, straight up, he is. Hi, I'm Daniel Jones. Can I take your library card? You have some late fees.
Your account dipped 10% this month, but you know what? It's going to rebound 20 next month. So it's okay.
That's him. Now, if you take Lamar Jackson out of the quarterback pool, name me one quarterback that is faster than Daniel Jones.
I would assume that he's comparable to a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts. I'd assume they're in the same neighborhood.
If they ran
Pocket Hercules,
he's faster.
All right, Danny Dimes.
Pocket Hercules is the quickest. Josh Allen is the most dangerous. Jalen Hurts is probably the more powerful. Lamar Jackson is the fastest.
Yeah. Now,
I think Daniel Jones has more than an adequate arm, and now we're going to see what Steichen does as an offensive play caller, offensive guru. The hard thing for them is they said in the offseason that Richardson doesn't have to start in order to have a future with the Colts. They told on themselves. It was over then. And it's no different with Joe Flacco in Cleveland. They signed him to be the starter. He is going to be the starter because these coaches have to give everybody, they have to give the fans the perception or the reality that they're really going out there trying to win in the beginning of the season. Now, if it starts to tank, it's going to be Anthony Richardson or bust. And there's going to be a lot of veterans going on injured reserve because they're not trying to be out there and be exposed.
It's going to be fascinating to watch and to witness because neither one of these guys do what I think is maybe the most important, thing for a quarterback, and that's throw the ball well. Danny Dimes, 64% completion. He's at least got that going for him. But is he an accurate quarterback?
But
reports would say otherwise. Here's the thing, Jay. 34th out of 34.
What's your idea of accurate quarterback?
The dude misses open receivers just as much as Anthony Richardson. There's some real bad misses. You and I have both seen him. Right? Anthony Richardson has the record, the stigma for the lowest completion percentage by qualified starter, and that is on him. Let's not pretend like Danny Dimes is putting the ball on time, on target every time.
Okay, who's their number one receiver?
Michael Pittman Jr.
No, for the New York Giants.
Malik Neighbors.
Before that.
Exactly.
Then you just answer your question. Do you think the Colts have a better overall group of receivers and running backs and tight end than the Giants?
I would sure hope so. I would like to believe.
That's not what I asked.
I would like to believe.
That's not what I asked. This is you.
Jay, I don't know because they continually underperform.
Austin, here's your problem. You remind me of a lot of people that have all the answers but don't like answering the question. It's a yes or no question.
Jay, I don't know.
When you compare the Colts roster out on the edges, skill position guys, that's running back, tight end, receivers, to the Giants right now, or even last year.
As a whole, I will take the Colts. But I do think the Giants have the best player in that group in Neighbors.
Oh,
I think Neighbors is the top receiver. I think he's better than Pittman Jr. Higher ceiling. Pittman is a.
Do you think
he's a 2 on a really good team?
Do you think he's better than Downs?
I really like Downs,
okay,
but Downs is a slot guy. I don't think he's best outside.
Who do you like? Do you like Wandell or Downs?
I like Downs.
Okay, so Pittman, compare Neighbors and Pittman, is not that big of a stretch. The gap isn't that much. Now, tight end, do you like Warren or whoever, or Fedoni?
Is Fedoni going to be the starter for them?
Okay, Fedoni and company.
The Colts have had the worst tight end production, and Warren hasn't done it. I like Warren. I'm excited for it.
We're dealing in the present, Austin. Leave the past in the past.
Jay, it's the same guys, except for one new guy who hasn't played in the NFL yet. I like Tyler Warren. I'm excited for him.
And where was he picked?
14.
You got to get this Jake Sorensen negative Nancy thought process out of how you view the Colts.
But why? They make it so easy to be negative.
That's the easiest thing in the world to do.
They are so
you know
mid.
What you know what I told some kids? You know what the easiest thing in the world to do? You know the two easiest thing to do in sports?
What's the quit and
No. That is not. That should be the hardest thing to do. Easiest thing to do is be negative and be lazy when you play sports. You can't be that when you're talking about your Colts if they're your team. You need to be happy because they actually are making a decision that's hopefully in the first 6 games of the season they're going to keep you interested.
I'm not mad at Daniel Jones starting. I'm not mad at Anthony Richardson to the bench. I'm just not inspired.
See, if you would have said, you know what, I'm really, really mad that the Colts didn't trade a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick for Kirk Cousins, I'm with you. I'm with you there. But the fact that they got Daniel Jones and they named him the starter, I would say, you know what, it's probably a week or two too late.
Okay.
Because he needed to be named the starter from the very beginning. And then you're on the way. Because it's right for the picking. Now, I do understand Daniel Jones comes with some, I wouldn't even say baggage, but just like unrealistic expectations. And then they sign him. And then part of the reason why they cut him is because Saquon went off. I mean, really, to be honest with you.
Well, would you rather take Saquon or Jonathan Taylor? Like at this point in their careers? Probably Saquon. How far behind is Jonathan Taylor, I guess, should be the question.
A healthy Jonathan Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor, before the Colts did the thing with the contract, there wasn't much. There was not much separation. Jonathan Taylor, when that offensive line is rolling, and you got Quentin Nelson rolling, he's like Bam Bam Bigelow. The dude is a nut job.
It's true. A nut job whose starting quarterback career looks like this: Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Anthony Richardson. Throw in Gardner Minshew and Joe Flacco in those as well. And now Daniel Jones. One time has Quentin Nelson, Hall of Fame left guard, started the year in back-to-back years with the same starting quarterback. And that starter didn't last all year both times. It was Anthony Richardson.
He's went through everything. He's went through everything. He's went through everything. He's went through it all. I mean, I forget the center that played for Buffalo for a long time. He's number 70. I think it was Eric something. He had curly hair. That's the same thing. You come in with a decent quarterback, and then they just went through J.P. Lossman, Peterman, and everywhere, and then he got a little bit of Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're getting a little bit of Daniel Jones. Quentin Nelson you went from the penthouse to the outhouse, and that's just the evolution of the NFL as it is. The quarterback position is the hardest position to hit on, but I think it's the easiest position to be good at.
Which makes it even more stunning that the Colts just handed the starting job over to the guy that's 34th out of 34 qualified starting quarterbacks and expected points added per pass attempt. Because their other option was out of 55 quarterbacks with at least 175 pass attempts over the last 2 years. Their other option was the guy that's 55th out of 55 in accuracy, 55th in completion rate, and 50th out of 55 in touchdown interception
rate. So then I'll settle you down. So
it's what kind of diarrhea did I want, Jay?
Hold on, no, it's not. So Anthony Richardson was moving up, and you liked Anthony Richardson coming out. We do have that on tape.
I liked him. I didn't love it.
Okay, but they drafted him.
They did.
Okay.
And we'll get to that.
Based off of Jalen Hurts and based off Steichen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're the GM. Your boy, was it Ryan Grigsby?
Grigson. Ryan Grigson.
Same thing. He's just the same dude, right? He's the one that told on the Patriots. So he just on that, you don't have any street cred. Okay, so he drafts Anthony Richardson. So his job is on the line. He's tied to Anthony Richardson and Steichen, but more importantly, Anthony Richardson, because that pick will stay with him for even after. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to make it right. So he has to give it time. But then on the flip side, you got Franklin. You got all these guys that are starting to get a little bit long in the tooth, and they're veterans, and you've got Downs, you got Pittman, you got Warren, who was kind of like the safe pick, right?
Well, they had to do it too. I
Well,
mean, that's a guy you expect to step in from day one out of position.
And it's a less sexy position that you can, because he could have 38 catches and still be really good the rookie year because Pittman and Downs are going on, and everybody, and Taylor's healthy, right? So he fits a need, but it's less drama filled with it. So if you expected him to trade up and then trade a really good player to go number one to get the guy that we probably needed, Cam Ward, that's professional suicide. So
I didn't expect that.
No, but that's why you see Daniel Jones coming in, because yes, you're bringing in competition. Is he significantly better than Richardson? Probably more. You could sleep better at night with Daniel Jones week one. But then also you're not taking the confidence away from Richardson if they had brought in an Aaron Rodgers, if they brought in a Kirk Cousins and took over his contract. So there's a lot of that. I was talking to somebody about this. When you get, as soon as you get signed to a second or third, I was blessed enough to have a second and third contract. They're immediately thinking about how to get rid of you generally. Right? Well,
tough. Definitely.
But that's where the Colts are with these two guys. They're like, oh, this dude ain't what we saw in Florida. No. You just did the Jamarcus Russell and fell in love with like 2 or 3 games. And then you started to lie to yourself. And then here's the thing. You didn't learn the lesson from the Tennessee Titans with your boy Will Levis.
You did not learn.
One of the things they said about Will Levis, they said, man, he was really good the year before, but this year he regressed. But you know what his best quality is? He got hit a lot and took a lot of sacks, so we know he's tough enough. Shoulder blown out. Right now. He's doing the same thing we're doing, watching TV.
Two lanes of thought on that. First of all, is it over for Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis?
I don't think it's ever over for a quarterback.
That's why I said in Indianapolis.
I don't think it's ever over in Indianapolis. I think right now this decision was already made when they signed him. Daniel Jones just could not. As long as you don't fall on your face, you're going to start week one. Anthony Richardson can still be a starter in Indianapolis, but to get to the potential or to the, I guess, the heights that he wants to go is going to be somewhere else. This is Justin Fields over again.
What are the odds that this is his redshirt year coming in year 3, essentially? And then, he's making progress behind the scenes so that year 4 in the NFL job is officially his. Do you have any confidence that could happen?
It could, but he's got to, whatever is holding him back, somebody's got to really, and he's got to accept the hard truth. And he has to work at this thing. This has got to be his number one priority besides his family. And that's questionable whether it is. You got to be in better shape. You got to be better mentally. You got to be better physically. And then and then also it's on Steichen too. You have to be, okay, you've seen this guy for 2 years. You've been in meetings with him for 2 years. And a little bit time before that, before the draft process. So you should know how he thinks and what's the best thing for him. And then now, as long as he's willing to go down this path with them, you need to. And Anthony Richardson went out to Josh Allen's throwing coach, Tom House, and tried to reshape his delivery to be a little bit better. And you better call up the Brian Dable, my man Greg Roman, and how they changed their philosophy and how to get the best out of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And you better bring that down to Indianapolis.
Because Richardson is more Allen than Hurts.
Yeah, because Hurts is the son of a coach. And he was coached with Nick Saban.
Yeah.
So all the things all the little deficiencies in the things that Richardson is missing in the huddle, in the locker room, that's what made Jalen Hurts a second-round pick.
Right.
Probably should have been a first-round pick. Leadership skills.
Winner tag.
Cool, calm, and collected. Probably sometimes too calm. Right? They were getting mad at him already. It's too calm. The ability to still, play your way through adversity, win some ugly games, have the confidence in yourself that, they were saying he couldn't pass, then they went out and threw for 300 yards or whatever. I hate to see Anthony Richardson, be in a situation like that, but then that he probably put himself there. You just wonder where your priority is because he has a ton of talent, but then also it's a great thing that, like recruiting. The draft is no different than recruiting. It's a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
You could look. You could be from Louisiana or wherever these kids are from, and look like a monster. And as soon as you see somebody across the line of scrimmage or other guys at your position that are monsters too, then all of a sudden you become like a little baby.
Well, it's the big fish in a small pond versus
never
big
know.
fish in a big pond.
You just never know.
Yeah.
Or because every level that you go up, it's more of a thinking game. And athletically, Anthony Richardson and you saw, and this is the coach's nightmare. The worst quality. It's their best quality and the worst quality. I can get the best out of him.
I can fix him,
or I can make him. I can get him even better.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the biggest problem with that. The coach is willing to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that gets coaches excited. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like almost like a blank. You think you're Picasso and you got a blank canvas. It's got to be a relationship.
Well, the coach has to want to do it, which I'm willing to believe Steichen did.
Sure.
Because, Jay,
coach.
That was his first draft pick as head coach.
Right.
With the experience that he had. So I'm willing to believe Steichen wanted to. Anthony Richardson, I'm sure, gave lip service to it and put in some of the work, but his eyes have been open to professionalism, right? So I don't want to say Anthony Richardson was pushing back or against it, but clearly there's a step he needed to take. But then we talked about this last year, and I think it's worth bringing up. Front office. I still believe the front office played a big role in Anthony Richardson's benching into motion, right? The shoulder injury, the concussions the first year, that's injury. It happens. That's a rookie taking lumps. Last year, though, I don't think Shane Steichen gave up on Anthony Richardson before the front office did.
Yeah,
now, with some time to think about it, think about the locker room, probably hear from Pittman, from Downs, from Nelson, I'm sure from DeForest Buckner, probably Kenny Moore, even, Rigo Sanchez, the punter. Those are leadership guys in Indy. I'm starting to wonder if, they opened his eyes to, hey, we like the kid, but he's just a kid. And that goes to this point. Dan Orlovsky was pointing this out today. Anthony Richardson has like 1,700 reps since high school, 1,700 snaps. Bo Nix has 5,000. That's 3 times the number of reps for Bo Nix compared to Anthony Richardson. And this is where I want to ask you this question, Jane. We can't know for sure, but just kind of your gauge of the situation. Did Anthony Richardson come out at the right time to strike while the iron was hot? Did the Colts make the right decision by taking on a project? Should Anthony Richardson have gotten better advice and waited out another year in Florida? Because when we think about, betting on yourself, it's, oh yeah, I think I can make it in the league. I'm going to jump. We think of it as a risk to stay in college. But for a guy like Anthony Richardson, betting on himself, I think could have looked like, hey, I know I haven't played that much quarterback. I know I need more reps. I'm a lot of time and experience behind these guys in front of me. I'm still a project. I got to stay in college and get another year of those reps. Sure, it's a risk, but so is jumping to the NFL. Clearly, that hasn't worked out the way that he wanted it to, that the Colts wanted it to. So it's looking more and more in retrospect like Anthony Richardson either got bad advice or made the jump before he was ready and missed out on, an extra 1,000+ snaps that would have maybe had him better, positioned as a rookie last year as opposed to a second-year guy last year.
Negative Ghost Rider. I love you also. Negative Ghost Rider. That pattern is full.
But you're getting better coaching, you'd think, in the NFL, playing with better players.
Negative Ghost Rider. That pattern is full. And here's why. You remember Cardell Jones?
I remember Cardell Jones.
You remember Cardell Jones listening to Urban Meyer?
I do not remember him listening to Urban Meyer.
And he came back. He was when he was at his peak now. He was Anthony Richardson, just not as fast. Cannon arm, first round. You started to hear Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. He should come out. He decided to come back. Went 4th round out the league. Even if he came, it was say, okay, let's take the 1,000 reps.
So you're saying always get drafted?
Hold on. What pick did he go? 4. Okay. Oh, no, you ain't gonna be able to replicate that. That's that iron or that fire wasn't just hot. That was El Fuego. It was flaming. Right? Here's why. Let's just say he goes back.
To year 2 Billy Napier, by the way, that would have been the situation.
Okay, the situation. And then you had your boy Tupac, the white Tupac out there that got shot, right? Was it Pearsall, right?
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall.
Okay, that's fine. That sounds good. It's 1,000 more reps. But just say they don't perform the same. And then the same weaknesses that you see that people talk about at the league while you're getting paid, now they use against you and they can rewind it. And now you don't go number 4, you go 3rd round. So hold on. So you lose out on all that money. Now he's the same immature kid and same maturity kid that he would now sure. Now could they have done some stuff to make it be more mature? He's going to be the same immature kid as possible. Now here's the difference between Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Anthony Richardson. You want to know the real big difference is? Josh Allen has who? Jim Kelly. Lamar Jackson has who? Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Who does Anthony Richardson have? That you have 2. Well, first of all, 1 legendary quarterback that was there for 16 years. I think he was there. And then Andrew Luck, who essentially was going to be the second coming or second kind of legendary quarterback. And the Colts screwed him over by releasing his retirement thing at halftime. And then he won't ever go back there again.
Well, no, here's the thing. So Peyton's in Denver, right? Still accessible to the organization, but not there necessarily. Andrew Luck was living in Indy. For a while, and then just took the stand for a job. Like, I'm sure as jilted as he was still living in his same house down the street.
Right.
He was right there.
So you're making my point. So the organization didn't use their resources. So this doesn't matter whether it's a college or the pros. There's resources that will help present day players reach the peaks that they can possibly get to. That's a big part of it, because Peyton Manning will see the athletic ability and teach him how to be a professional, which will hopefully allow his maturity rate go into warp speed. Peyton Manning can sit down with him. Now, you would probably, first of all, the Irsay family would have to mend some fences with Peyton. I think there's some static there.
Oh,
I think there's some, I think because first of all, let me just say this before we go to break. Listen, don't get fooled by Peyton Manning. He can be an a-hole as a teammate. I've heard, and I have guys, I know one of my best friends play with him. Because he's there to win. He ain't trying to be your friend. Now, if you play good, then he's cool with you. But he's hyper competitive. He did not want to go to Denver. He wanted to finish in Indy. He felt like he earned the right and opportunity to come back and finish and play with one team. That's a big deal to players like that. It's a big deal to Tom Brady. You see Barry Sanders able to go out like that. You see different guys like, you know what I mean? They don't want to be like Joe Namath and be, with the 49ers and all that. So there's some static there. And then also you don't think Peyton Manning watch how, you ushered in Andrew Luck. You see how you did him, and now he's in Denver. So it falls on the Colts, like you said, in the front office, because you don't have the infrastructure around this guy in order for him to be successful. Now, he's got to be able to welcome that, because you do have Buckner, you got Franklin, you got Moore, you got Pitt, you got dudes around you. You off jacking around. So now, if he doesn't make a run this time, he done. So that's why he comes out early, because whoever advised him to come out early gave him the best advice, because he ain't getting a second, third round contract. He get a second, third contract. He get on 1-year deal. You're going to come in and do RPO. Next thing you know, they're going to be thinking about moving you to tight end. You want to know why they're going to think about moving him to tight end?
Because they took a basketball player and moved him to tight end.
Because the one thing that he can do, he can run, he can catch, he can probably run some routes. You heard it here first. Because if he does not show the maturity to handle this right, if this has not got you ready, like to go to hell or high water, Anthony Richardson, it's your franchise and they just gave it to a dude. Dude just came in.
Mercenary.
Right.
1-year deal. Who they gave it to? Over you.
Well, you didn't take it.
That part. I'm not so sure Daniel Jones won this job as much as he
just didn't mess
job.
it up.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Anthony Richardson really lost the job, right? I think you're right. He didn't go out and
it would have been easier for Anthony Richardson to win this job than Daniel Jones. They were waiting for Anthony Richardson
to win the dang job.
It would have been something that if he said, you know what, I'm not going back to Florida. I'm staying here from mini camp to training camp. We locked in.
Let me just say this, and then I know we gotta get to break too. I get taking a quarterback when you think you have your quarterback whisperer head coach. It's so easy to say with hindsight being 2020.
Was he really the quarterback whisperer head coach?
Jay, that's why they hired him. Because they want Jay. I'm saying how the Colts viewed it. I'm not saying that he is or he was.
Right.
I'm saying it seems like the Colts viewed Shane Steichen as the quarterback whisperer. They wanted to get off the carousel because they had those two guys you talked about before. This is the Colts' first time going through quarterback purgatory in a long time, right? They're not comfortable with it. No NFL team is comfortable with it. Colts thought they could shortcut the line, take the project, trust the guy that worked with Jalen Hurts, and clearly they miscalculated, right? They miscalculated on Anthony Richardson. They miscalculated on Shane Steichen. And I'm not saying either of those guys are screwed. I'm not saying get them out. I'm not saying they're over. But clearly it wasn't the right time. Something wasn't working. Maybe there's some magic left in the tank, but it leaves Colts fans like myself wondering, what if they had been able to resist the temptation of Anthony Richardson, that they had seen, 1,500 reps, that they had seen, hey, our intel is telling us he's not the next Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts is a different dude than him, right? It's a different set of problems. We have a different, organizational structure and setup than the Eagles do. We're not them. We have to play this, a little smarter. You have to make a big move at quarterback. That's the cheat code in the NFL, right? Win with a quarterback on a rookie deal. To your point, the Colts should have more talent than I think they've showed in the last few years. Not like they've been atrocious, right? 9-8 in second place, and 8-9, I think, in second place behind Houston as well. That's not atrocious. But right now, you've also swung and missed a quarterback out of maybe it was a well-guided swing at trying to get it right at the biggest position, or it was arrogance, thinking you knew everything, you knew exactly how it was going to work out.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, we'll take a quick break, come back. I think sometimes when you try to play copycat, you get a dud. That's in coaching and player.
Yeah.
So we'll really dive into that, and then obviously we'll compare it to what the Chiefs did versus the Chicago Bears, versus the Ravens, versus the Bills. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Mail can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmail.com. That's limitlessmail.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on old school. Jay, you've got the rundown, so I suppose I should let you bring it in. But I'm throwing off my game by you putting me in my place about my Colts. But I can still tell you're not exactly quaking in your boots in fear.
My Texans are, who knows? I mean, I think that's the most interesting division.
Is there any chance Tennessee wins?
I would not be surprised.
8-9 games.
Yeah, there's a chance. You believe in your quarterback, anything can happen. They got a number one receiver.
Yeah.
And so you just never know. They got a good D line. They got some dudes.
They do.
They're not. Everybody's. I mean, sure, Houston should be that odds-on favorite, but I don't know. I just think, when you look at the Colts, I think when you talked about, here's what happens. I mean, as much as Anthony Richardson had the strike when the iron's hot, same with Shane Steichen. You gotta go then. Both the coordinators, they both sold them two teams, the two easiest people to sell fool's gold, the Colts and the Cardinals. They believe this dude was the guy down there. What's his name?
Jonathan Gannon.
Gannon,
yeah,
was a defensive guru,
mm-hmm.
right? Which I think the defense is good, but he didn't even know who Budda Baker was. All right, he didn't even know who their perennial All-Pro safety. They didn't know who he didn't even know who he was. Excuse me. And then Steichen, you just ride that Jalen Hurts thing. You just
is that kind of short-sighted though? Oh, I'm the quarterback guy. Oh, we got to get a quarterback. No. If you're not 100% sure that you can make it work with this guy, people would question your decision to pass on a quarterback when you know you need one. But it might, kind of.
There's guys that get
ironically be better for job security not to take a quarterback that first year, take a late round project that's been working with, and then reassess your options the next year.
Why do you think that old buddy at Carolina want to get rid of Bryce Young? Why do you think he does? Because when you're a head coach or
you want your guy.
No, you have to draft a quarterback. Unless you have a stout, you have to draft somebody.
That's why I'm saying take a mid-round guy.
No,
and then reassess if you're not 100% sold on Anthony Richardson.
Austin, listen to what I'm saying.
They were not 100% sold.
Listen to what I'm saying. These NFL teams and decision makers draft guys they're not sold on. They have to go tell the owner, we're doing our job. And one of them is drafting a quarterback. It doesn't matter if he can play or not.
Okay, but if you're a good enough coach and you have the trust of ownership, I mean, clearly Chris Ballard has had Jim Irsay's ear and has the ear of the Irsay family, right? I mean, look at what Chris Ballard has done or not done for Indy. They've been mediocre, right? They still haven't gotten off the quarterback carousel. You know, I think Chris Ballard had enough sway with Jim Irsay to say, hey, Jim, I know we're trying to solve quarterback. I don't think this is the year to do it. It's going to be a tough sell to fans. We might get a little blowback hiring an offensive-minded coach that just worked with Jalen Hurts. But if we're not 100% sold on our quarterback option, we'll take a mid-late round guy and reassess our options next year. I think Chris Ballard had that kind of cachet. I just don't know if he had the guts to do it.
Well, that's probably the best assessment. But who's that Ryan do?
Ryan Grigson?
What's he do?
He gone.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the one that got Andrew Luck killed.
That's right. Yeah.
It's also the one that traded for Trent Richardson.
Ballard might have had the ear, but the owner wants a new quarterback. Irsay would have drafted a quarterback every year because he's running from the ghost from the devil of his past.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, man, that for the time that I was involved with Houston on that side.
Sorry, one thing, but maybe that would have been the right time though, 2023, because Irsay had just gotten so much flack for being rash and hiring Jeff Saturday from ESPN. That'd been the perfect time. Hey, Jim, you can preach patience. You can preach long run. You can preach build.
Austin.
Which maybe they tried to do with Anthony Richardson and then didn't commit to it.
You got to take your fandom out and put it over here. You just
told me I was being a bad fan last segment. Now I'm wrong for being a fan?
No, you're being a fan right now. But you are a bad fan. You've been hanging out with Jake too much. That's your problem because Jake is negative Nancy. Now just think about this. He just took flack for hiring Jeff Saturday over a couple bottles of cognac.
Yes.
And he lost the bet. Right?
Probably.
And it looked good the first time when they went out and beat the Raiders. And Jeff Saturday was like, no, right? He just took a ton of flack, became a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did he do after that? Turn things over to Ballard. He hired a coach, and then you draft a quarterback. That's what you have to do, no matter who it is. And who was one of the hottest in the fastest rising prospects? When you listen to Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, both of them ain't never played. Both of them really don't know what they're talking about. I like Todd McShay, but you really up here, they were really up here telling you about the game that they got beat by Wisconsin, and he made a couple throws. This dude's going to be your franchise quarterback. You're trying to tell me this. Now, granted, the Colts had to draft him because then that creates positivity. But here's why you know they haven't done their job. The same immaturity issues or only living on your athletic ability and you have a really strong arm were the same things that were going on in Florida. So that lets me know you did not do your homework.
Or you didn't care about your homework after you did
it. Or you did your homework, but you said, you know what?
I can fix it.
Let's put $30 million in his pocket, 60% more free time, probably 70% more free time, and he's going to mature fast that way. That is a recipe for disaster. And
it's a recipe for disaster, which is why you don't take the guy.
Right, but you have to. Because Austin,
just because it's been traditionally done that way doesn't mean you have to.
You are not these guys in the NFL. I'm telling you, it's 8 to 10 teams are trying to win every year.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is Halloween 24/7, 365. I'm telling you,
I believe you.
I've been in there.
I believe
listening to the GM to Rick Smith in there, and he was telling me stuff. Dude, I was flabbergasted. He's like, watch this.
So am I giving Chris Ballard too much credit or not enough credit?
He's fine. You got to really judge him and see what he does next.
Am I giving Shane Steichen too much credit or not enough credit?
You got to give Shane Steichen enough credit that his agent decided, you know what, you need to leave Philly and you need to be right now. See, here's what people like when you think of Johnson, the Bears coach, and Aaron Glenn. See, they stayed in a season because they were down for the plan, and they had continuity from Spielman, essentially the owner Spielman. And then the head coach, Dan Campbell, they had job security no matter what was happening. They had talent. And what did he do? What did Johnson do? He developed Jared Goff to one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Aaron Glenn took a bunch of misfits, changed their identity, got some guys through the draft. Hutchinson, Campbell. They had Anzalone for a while before. I mean, he was been in and out of the lineup, but he's a stalwart. right? They were able to get Branch, right? Second round pick who had first round essentially talent and all that stuff.
Was it Kirby Joseph there?
Kirby Joseph. And then they had the other the corner from Bama that they have now. And all those. And then they were able to make some hard decisions when they cut the cornerback from Ohio State. That's few and far between. Few and far between. Look at Philly after Gannon left. Look how many they had. The one defensive coordinator, I think, that worked under Gannon, right? And then they had Johnson, remember the OC, and then they had to really change the way they did it. And then they brought in Vic and the New Orleans coach right now. So, I mean, but then also look at Kansas City. Look at the continuity that they had in order to have Alex Smith and say, you know what, Patrick Mahomes, we know you cold-blooded, but just chill for a year. Look at the Patriots. Look at the continuity that they had. They know they had a defense. They know how they had a plan. They know they had an identity. Look at Lamar Jackson. The Ravens say, oh, you guys ain't going to pick him. We'll pick him. Then we'll figure out a way to make it work because this guy's going to be next level.
And that goes back to the root of my frustration. If you knew this guy was a project and he needed reps, he needed time, he needed to mature, the best way to do that is to play him. So name him the starter. Otherwise, if you're not 100% pot committed to that plan, that's how you end up with Daniel Jones. Well, I'm willing to give a chance, right? I hope the Colts go 17-0 in the regular.
The worst thing they did is not. They should have. If I was the Colts, way back in the day, I would have never brought Carson Wentz in. You're trying to get him to be a winner, and he
doesn't have that DNA.
Right. I would have tried to squeeze another year out of Phillip Rivers and or Matt Ryan.
I think Rivers especially.
Right. He
took him to playoffs.
Right.
He's one drive away from beating Buffalo in the wild card.
That puts you in a different position right now. Now you can't deal with that right now. Now it's just how you handle Anthony Richardson. Do you obviously right now? This should be the communication has to be clear. He actually has to be like a separate coaching project during the season, which is going to be hard to do. You're going to have somebody essentially tied to him to the hip because he's not
like a handler.
Yeah, he's not like Jamarcus Russell where he's out all the time. I don't think he's like a big partier. I don't think he is.
Like it. I mean, he's not a kid.
I just think he probably is on the video game all the time. I think that video game needs to become video, and you have to have somebody with him that he's going to have to be getting. You're going to have to get out there and go through plays with him. And sure, you need all those scout team reps, but you're going to have to go through plays. You're going to have a VR. You're going to have to do some VR system or something because I think he has enough in athletic ability and shown some flashes and that athletic ability that you play the long game with.
Well, you don't want to be the team that traded away the next dude, right? I mean, I've seen all these rumors on, or mock trades saying Los Angeles Rams go get him. You don't want to let him walk and let Sean McVay, turn him into something. That would hurt.
No, and I don't think he fits Sean McVay's system. I think you don't want him to go. You don't want him to go for a year and learn under Andy Reid, and then he goes somewhere else, and then he's just putting in work. You don't want him to go somewhere where they just fit him in, and then he's just they play to his strengths. I think you could still do some things with him, but you see this, you saw it in Cleveland. I think they're trying to get him to play a type of quarterback position that doesn't fit his skill set.
Which is interesting because Steichen was supposed to be the guy to tailor that to his skill set. And I think he's done a fine job of that. I mean, the offense was not the same for Anthony Richardson as it was for Joe Flacco, as it was for Gardner Minshew. I think Steichen has actually been a pretty solid play caller, all things considered.
I just think that the decision was made to give the illusion or the reality that we feel like we can win with less risk at the quarterback position. But I also think if I was them, I would still have a package for him, and it's not just RPO. Because against the Packers, he's shown he could do something. Now, granted, I don't know if it's the starters or not, but the Packers have depth on the first and second unit, so he's shown the ability to do something. And
even in real, honest-to-God NFL games as well.
Right.
I mean, the drive against the Patriots, the throw against Houston, right? The 65-yarder. We're not doubting the tools.
Right.
There's a lot in that toolkit.
But then also, Shane Steichen's on the hot seat too.
Mm-hmm.
So That's also goes into the decision. Your back's if he's in 2 years, if it's last year, it doesn't get to this point. If the Anthony Richardson, who has shown some improvement, is on the team last year, you don't get to this. I always said this, man. I was talking to somebody. When decisions are made, has really the last thing that really matters is what happens on the field.
Indeed.
So when everybody say I want to just compete, you just need to go play hard because the decision ain't gonna have nothing to do with what happened on the field. It's not, man. It's the last thing.
Dang.
Unless you really just doing outstanding, and then they don't have a choice. But if it comes down to where you got a choice, there's about 4 boxes they're trying to check before they get down there and see what you do. So, anyways, we're gonna come back. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go hog wild, pit barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. B, that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Quick segment, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Then we got one more hour. Old school. We solved all the problems. I mean, it's it's crazy, Austin. It's I didn't even realize Iowa State and Kansas State play Saturday, 11 o'clock.
It's here, Jay.
Yeah,
it's already here.
Yeah, here. What's today? Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Essentially, a week from now, Hay will be in the barn.
Mm-hmm.
2 days away from Huskers kicking off and hopefully kicking butt against Cincinnati. So.
Do they leave Wednesday to get down there? Or do they go down Thursday?
No, I'm sure they go down Wednesday. I'm just assuming. I have no idea, but just because it's a night game, I think you might be able to maybe leave a little bit later in the afternoon. I don't know if you drive. I have no idea, but so you get down there, and my experience with a night game, or in this case, a West Coast game. You'll get up, you'll have film, you'll have meetings, and, the same meetings. They got it all spaced out, where you can go meet here and there, and defense, you go over a game plan, probably get up and move around a little bit, maybe stretch a little bit. Then you come back and kind of think it's been so long. Maybe another meeting, depending on the time of the game, and if you're out on the West Coast or not. And then you go up, essentially get your stuff, get on the bus, and get over there. You got to think, if the game kicks off at 8, you're probably getting there no later than 5:30, 6 at the latest.
Yeah.
Because it's time to kick off and kick. You know what? You got to think these locker rooms are probably a little bit smaller, right? Especially if you're playing on the road.
So is Nebraska limited to a 70-player roster for a road game, and Cincinnati can bring as many as it wants for a home game?
I don't know. That'd be
because it's not a true neutral. It's a neutral site, but it's still, I think, a Cincinnati home game.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. So you got Steve Sipple and Sean Callahan. They probably know.
Well, I asked the expert.
I do not know.
Okay.
I would assume if I was Cincinnati, if this was me, I would want it to be that they can't bring all their whole team.
Oh, right.
Number one, for the sheer fact that Nebraska's going to run out with 120 guys, and I'm sure Cincinnati maybe has 100. I'd like it to be that because you might not be able to bring a special teams guy or a third team safety or whatever. But I don't know the rules. But that's what I would do. I would petition for that. And then I would make Nebraska wear a uniform that ain't like. It goes all that goes into it, man.
Make Nebraska wear their home reds for a road game.
Well, it's hot, so maybe that, but I don't know. I think a part of the games when you play this is the gamemanship. It's the mind game. Now, obviously, the most important thing is you got to go out and play well. So, for both teams, you got a week until you have a game, and that includes. I think sometimes when people say, "Okay, why do you think they got a week?" Well, once you get past Thursday against 2 days before the game, well, at least in my experience, it's just a matter of time. It's just a countdown to chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then in that week, so essentially from this Wednesday, essentially, right? As far as football goes, there's probably a day or two off because you can't practice every single day. So then now you're going from 6 days down to 4. So essentially, you got 4 practices.
That's not many.
It's on. That's not a lot of practices, and maybe not all of them are padded. So if you ever and the first game is always the hardest to get ready for because, I think in the second hour we'll see Coach Butler. He talk about tackling. That's always an emphasis because you can't go live. You never can simulate. You can simulate it, but then I always tried to think like, all right, I would rather a coach tell me to tune it down versus tune it up. And tackling is one of those things when you probably know that you're the better team, is you don't want to give them any confidence, and you never. I'm gonna tell you this: you never tackle as well as good as you want. You always, in the first game is probably, we've seen this, right? Where you have the most missed tackles.
Which is only natural.
Or you tackle really well the first game, and then you have some missed tackles the second game. Third game, you're in your rhythm. But I think to offset that, you play with tremendous amount of effort, energy, and physicality. Because there's nothing better than Austin missing the tackle, Jay Foreman, DP, Jason Peter, and Grant, or whatever, and we just bum rush them out of it. Then people don't talk about that. Where you really miss tackles, and I'll get off right now, is that when you don't have the discipline, who sets the edge, alley filler, cut back, or whatever you have.
You miss tackles when you put yourself in a compromised position.
Or somebody else does.
Gary.
Gary Walker. I love Gary Walker. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send him the text. Hey, man, you remember we played the Colts, man, and you forgot to set the edge and pull Peyton Manning up? You messed up my 2-sack game. Anyways, we'll take a quick break. We'll get some audio. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Nebraska football opens their season on Thursday, August 28th in Kansas City, and you can be a part of the best pregame tailgate party with Blur Events, live from Kauffman Stadium, home of the Royals. Doors open 4 hours before kickoff with a live DJ promoting interactive competitions and giveaways, tailgate games like cornhole, flip cup, and beer pong, access to ballpark concessions, and available air conditioning. Book your tickets today at blurevents.com/Kansas City and hang with 93.7 The Ticket on the scene prior to Nebraska versus Cincinnati on August 28th.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a 1-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
but don't be late. We close at 8.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season. Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 2, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We were brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt/Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on. It's preseason action. Obviously, it's still, you're knee-deep in training camp, but as you get closer to the first game, there's excitement, anxiety, but more importantly, there's pressure. And pressure – there's obviously good pressure. I think it's the old saying, it was a pressure is a privilege and all that stuff. And so it's just part of the emotions or whatever you want to describe it as what you go through when you're about to kick off a season. And it's no different than here in Nebraska. And, fortunately and unfortunately for the players and coaches, everything they say or do is dissected and, talked about. That's why Nebraska's a great job, because you're the only show in town and constant coverage, and you get the notoriety, for both as players and as a coach. And then it could be frustrating or annoying at time that you always, I wouldn't say always have to be on your P's and Q's, but everything that you say is evaluated, scrubbed over, all the way down to the ground. And so I think there's some. I think with the D-line coach and outside linebacker coach talks yesterday, and obviously Coach Butler. I mean, they're asking him, and then just any coach, man. You want to make sure you want to make sure your tackling's good. You want to make sure your communication's good and your physicality. And so that's probably one of the things he touched on.
Yes. Let me see if I can. Here's the tackling quote from Nebraska defensive coordinator John Butler.
The tackling piece obviously is something that I think is just never ending from now until the time you're done playing ball. Because obviously I think we had 3 or 4 live periods throughout the year, like scrimmages type things, and then the rest of it's thud. And then even in your tag off stuff, which we did a little bit today, you're just constantly preaching, running through, where are your eyes. So I think that's something that really throughout the whole year. But when you look at using the analogy of preseason football, in the NFL, and then you look at the first 3 or 4 games of each year, the stuff that stands out is the tackling and the takeaways, right? The tackling and the lack of ball security, because, quarterbacks haven't been hit, really ball carriers haven't been hit. So the team that's tackling better from a standpoint of the individual tackles plus population to the ball, I think is a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, that's accurate. I mean, it's something that you got to work on collectively. You got to put an emphasis on it. And then obviously individually as a player, it's part of your craft. You got to work at it. Tackling is something that you got to take pride in as an individual, and you got to work on it strategically and with intention at least 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, every day in practice while you're doing it, but outside of that, you got to put some time into it every single week, every single day, or just every single day you have scheduled.
What does that look like as a player? Extra work on that. What are the most important teaching points that maybe younger players would miss on that?
I mean, it kind of depends on where your weakness at, weakness or what you want to get better at. I mean, it could be essentially.
What was it for you?
It kind of depends on the year.
Let's take it year by year. As a freshman coming in,
you
just moved to linebacker. Everything.
Well, that was not for freshmen coming in. I was mainly getting bigger, faster, stronger, learning how to get off blocks. So a lot of time that I put in on, or extra time was, getting on the sled, being physical there, getting off of that, and then, hitting the popsicle stick, and then obviously work on running your feet.
Sophomore Jay Foreman. Feet are wet. You're bigger, faster, stronger.
More of that.
Okay.
More of that. You never forget. You always go back to the basics. And then really just running your feet on contact and learning how to play with good leverage. Leverage to me is good pad level.
And then junior and senior Jay Foreman just showed up an hour before the game, said, "No, I'm good. I got this."
No, then it's more, I mean, there's times where you go through a couple practices and you feel like you're not, hitting ball carries as crisp as you like, or as physical as you like. You got to have some self-awareness, and when you're in practice or after practice, some honest evaluation with yourself. If you're just going out there and practice and being okay with getting through practice and not really like dissecting every play and not just and only dissecting the plays that you make them in practice, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing your teammates a bigger disservice. I mean, there's been times where I've tackled well, but it wasn't good enough for me. So then, for me, I always go back to this. First things first. You start off with your stance. It's alignment, assignment, being aggressive. That precedes any good or bad tackle. That right there has nothing to do with physicalness, because that leads you to a faster and crisper, more clear read. It allows you to communicate more effectively, which allows you to play, more freer, which allows you to be more athletic and explosive and all that other stuff. Then you get into technique stuff, right? How you're, based on the play, how you're attacking the one or two guys that, possibly can block you based on their physical traits and how they play as a player. Then you look at the running back. Okay, when do I, take a shot, or when do I got to kind of make sure that I'm grabbing cloth and getting him down to the ground? And then it also is schematics. But, as far as working at it, it's a quickness thing. It's a leverage or pad level thing. And then an emphasis on once you get contact, you got to come up through your hips. And then obviously you got to run your feet. You got to run your feet. There's just like, the funny thing about tackling though, Austin, is after the initial strike, and it could be a stalemate, there's it seems like it's a full second, but it's like a millisecond that and this is crazy when I'm thinking about this now, is like all the things that go through your mind before you get contact, before you hit him, or while you're tackling.
And that's one of those, the game slows down things.
Yeah. It's like you see him, you're thinking, okay, here he comes. Okay. And it's like the holes open and close so fast in the pros and in college. You see the guy coming out, the play's coming your way. You see him out come blocking you. And then you're like, okay, your tip might be pad level. You get off him, and then boom, there he is. Then you're like, okay, I got to get my head across and I got to run my feet. And then once you hit him, then there's like a little quick second, run your feet. And then it's over. Hesitation.
Get you killed.
And get your ankles broke.
Get your drug.
Right. Get your drug. Get you zigging or zigzagging. You still zigging. And it happens to the best of us. You're going to miss tackles as a player. It's like getting got. If you aren't playing, if you never got in the NFL or college, then you ain't playing hard enough. Because some of it, you're just playing reckless, but it's got to be controlled, aggressive and aggressiveness and reckless. So I mean, you just got to maybe just continue to hit the tackling sled or the tackling dummy. You got to maybe set. I used to set up like an obstacle course.
Ah.
Right. I wanted to work on foot quickness. I'd check a bag or two. I would work on my play entry. Then I would work on like my initial footsteps, and then getting up through this like hitting sled, ripping off, keeping my feet like choppy. You're like a typewriter, and then exploding into the tackling dummy.
How much of your first step as a linebacker is just your initial normal human reaction time, and how much of it is you generally know what your first step is going to be based off film study and alignment?
Well, you'd like it to be a lot based off your film study and alignment. I think when you're an inside linebacker, I think you got to think, quicker feet, and like you're like a boxer that's a really good jabs, like both hands. Like, then you go.
How many steps do you give yourself to properly diagnose before you have to have a decision made?
I match him, and I go through the triangle. And then most of the time, I kind of know where I'm going. And once you see it, you got to hit it, and then you go from there. It's so much work that goes. That's why, like, even if you don't wear pads, you got to be mentally drained, because you're so in tune to every single play, even when you're not in the or the practice or the game. You're in there.
Well, and you're looking at, probably no less than 7 guys most times, 5 linemen, running back, quarterback.
There's usually 3
on top of a tight end potentially.
Based on the front, if you draw a front, and I know what the front's doing, that's why you got to know what everybody's doing. You narrow it down to 2 or 3 guys that can block you. 2 guys play side, 1 guy backside, based on whatever running play, and then obviously screen and all that other stuff. And then on the run, things can happen. We used to call it rinse and replace. A guy gets like washed down into your gap, you got to replace him there. It's called playing football. It's the best thing,
and that is doing your job, is playing football.
The best thing Sam Coward told me once when I was a rookie, he's like, don't leverage the block, leverage the ball. And that holds true even if you're taking on a block,
because it's relative to the ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't need to set the edge. You way out there by the sideline. You know what I mean? Throw that big dude out there. I got to make it play. That's why I was so mad. Reggie Herring lit me up one time when I against the Patriots when they ran a screen. 2 linemen over there. Vic Fangio was like, you need to be outside of it. No, I don't.
No.
First of all, if I go outside, they're going to blow me up into the game rate. Second of all, I gave the dude the dead leg, got off into the second dude, made the tackle.
Made a play.
It was hell to high water. Right?
So they're thinking you got away with making the wrong play. When what you did was made the right play.
Vic, you way up there. Okay. I'm down here in the action.
How many snaps did Vic take at linebacker?
I don't know, but he's a hell of a coordinator. Listen, you way up there. Matter of fact, you just watched it again. I'm down here, and it comes time you got to just make a decision. Listen, there's 2 big linemen coming out there. There's nothing there's not a right answer, because it wasn't Gary. It was Kylie Wong blitz when he was supposed to be in the flat.
Oh, no.
So then, therefore, I'm out there. What are you going to do? I ain't going to run up there and get blocked. I'm going to try to stay alive.
Survival.
Yeah. Now his rebuttal would have been, you do the job you're supposed to do, and then you go play football. It wouldn't have stretched out the play so much. There is truth to that. But
you made the tackle.
Yeah, but when I'm in a hook drop and I see 2 dudes out there, I don't think I got a lot of time to. Hey, hold on, stop right there. Let me get outside so I can get it.
Oh yeah, we got you, Jay.
Yeah,
we'll see you over there when we get there.
Yeah, but Vic was he's always the coach. He's always right. But yeah, I mean that's part of the process that you go through is tackling. And then I think a big thing is practice habits. I think sometimes if you learn how to practice without pads, you've seen a lot. Look, you saw the Denver Broncos. The one thing I think people get the misconception about the Denver Broncos when they were really rolling, and I used to call them the way too real Denver Broncos, because they were way too real. They were really physical, but they hardly ever practiced in pads. They practiced the right way. You practice with the tempo, pad level. You get after it with the same speed. Your body's fresh. I think with defense, for me, one of the things I learned how to over exaggerate some of the things I needed. It's like a swing change in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You go through what they say 1,000 kind of reps of kind of mimicking what you're trying to do. You explode out of your break. You sprint up to them with the right leverage. We used to call it kill grass, which is the pitter pat, and then you explode into it, and you make sure you drop your hips on contact. And if you're tagging off or if you're thudding up, you go from there. But you're not gonna. But if you're if you're thinking like, oh, we're in half pads or shells, I can play high. I'll figure out the game.
You should probably play lower because you'll want to play high in pads.
Yeah, yeah. You always got to plan for that leeway.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like if you ever watch golf and a guy says, "Oh, I gave you a club less than what you normally hit because I know you're juiced up. I know you're going to hit that 8-iron farther than you normally would, so I'm giving you 7-iron distance with your 8-iron coming down the stretch." No different than football. You got to over exaggerate it, and of course, like he said, until the season's over, you're never going to be satisfied with tackling. And that's 1,000% truth. You want to constantly harp on it, even if your team's tackling good. You want to constantly harp on it. You constantly want to make sure that the standard of effort is there, and then you want them to take it to heart and go out there and execute.
Maybe this is the wrong question to ask. Maybe you know where it's coming from, though. Obviously, you want to make 100% of your tackles, but if you're going to grade out, the NFL level as a above average to great tackler, what percentage of the time are you making a tackle when you have an opportunity?
Me?
Just a generic NFL player.
Oh, linebackers should make it 90% of the time. Get them down.
Okay.
Get them down. I think
is that different for DBs?
They look, man. They don't. It's such a variance of one guys that want to hit or not. Now I think guys, they'll go in there and it's called shooting your shot. And coaches or coordinators will be okay with it because you shot your shot. When I played, guys took pride in not missing tackles and making every tackle that you possibly could within the scheme. So I think it's different. So I think a lot of these kids that kind of just play. Oh, I missed the tackle. All right, I got another play because I know I'm playing. I'll get another one. And then they get in the red zone. I was like, all right, we better tighten up. Versus we didn't want to get you in the red zone.
Because that's still probably 3 points.
Or a touchdown.
Or that.
Yeah. So I think it's just a difference in mentality and so forth and so on. We got anybody else?
Let's see here. We can. I know you like linebackers. Let's hear about linebackers from Nebraska defensive coordinator John Butler.
Obviously, the single-digit thing here is a tremendous honor for everybody 0 through 9 because, like we have coaches have nothing to do with it. It's 100% based on the opinion and the respect that your fellow players have for you, which ultimately in football, we're trying to get these guys to play as hard as they can, as physical as they can, and execute at a high level and do it for each other. That ultimately is the kind of the bonding formula, the fact that you're doing it for your teammates. You're not out there playing for yourself. So if you then get voted as one of the 10 players to wear a single digit, I think that's just a testament of what the players think of them. And with Vincent, obviously he went from 1 to 9, which meant he was revoted into that capacity as opposed to just keeping his number 1. So I really believe that any of those players that have been voted into that position that then accepted that number, they should feel great about how their teammates think of them. And then it is a tremendous responsibility to then uphold that, because now we're looking to you, to be the ones that lead our defense or lead our team, so to speak. So I would assume that if I was voted to get a single digit, I'd wear it, and I would wear it with pride, and I would wear it knowing that every single day I showed up in this building, I've got to lead and play with a level of effort and physicality and execution that's uncommon.
Obviously, you name dropped Vincent Shavers there, Jay, but also Javen Wright in that conversation as a single-digit linebacker.
Yeah, they gotta get the party started. I mean, you got to do it a lot of times when you physically probably aren't feeling the best. That's what he's saying. He said every day you got to bring it. Every game you got to bring it. Mm-hmm. You voted on by your teammates. You do. Listen, the worst thing. You want to know what my biggest fear was? It wasn't like Larry Allen or like Brennan Sty or like Aaron Taylor and or like Corey Schlesinger. No, that wasn't my biggest fear. My biggest fear was walking into the training table as me and having guys think like that dude isn't that good or that dude doesn't play hard or he's not up to standard. That was my biggest fear. I mean, it drove me to like, and it's a good fear. It's a good peer pressure because that's you're invested. You care about your teammates. Nobody knows you better than your teammates, and nobody really kind of knows who's the guy that they can trust more in your team. Ideally, more in your teammates. Now, if it's like a popularity contest, then you get in some trouble. But I think like these guys that have those single numbers, I don't really know off the top of my head who they are. You guys come Thursday, whenever we play. Was it Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 8:00. It's gotta be on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the field, it's off the field, it's in the classroom, it's in the community, it's in the weight room, it's in the locker room, it's in the meeting room. But come Thursday. Yeah, I know school starts Monday. That doesn't count. Okay. No,
you can go to school, play school.
Hey, Dennis LeBlanc.
Cardale Jones.
Hey, Dennis LeBlanc, mad as heck is me right here. Listen, I don't care about this first week of school. It's on.
Football season, Dennis.
Whoever those 10 are, it's got to be on. And it's not just all the pageantry is over. It's on. You lead the way. You got a bunch of new dudes that just got here. You got McCullough that just got here.
Mm-hmm.
You got Newary just got here. Law Firm just got here. Rocco and those guys play. But you guys got to be the bell cows.
Mm-hmm.
Dane Key's single day. But all those guys, you got to get busy.
Mm-hmm.
All game long. When it comes time to it, comes time for it, when it comes down to it, excuse me, and you face some adversity, those guys got to step up and rally the troops. I mean, there's some other guys, but those yeah.
Well, we know you're always going to take it as a linebacker because.
But Coach Butler was right. He said, "Listen, those are the guys that it can't be. You just can't be one of the guys."
No, I mean, yeah, you have 4 single digits behind you in the defensive backfield: Buford, Hartzog, Singleton, and now Sierra Wright as well.
You can't be just a bunch of guys. You just can't.
You still got to take charge.
You can't be guys that just do. You can't blend in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing wrong with it. So you got voted on by your teammates, so you got to perform for your teammates. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll holler at you in a second.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul. Live. Summer Unity Tour 2025. August 21st. Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneers Park with Our Lady Peace. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Collective Soul. Live. Our Lady Peace. Together.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Limitless Male says it's all fun and games until your testosterone plummets. Testosterone levels can start falling as early as age 30 with symptoms like no energy, poor sleep, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, and mood swings. If this sounds familiar, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel this good, you'll wonder why you waited so long to get a free consult at Limitless Male. Get scheduled today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Second segment, 4 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Did some Husker talk. Obviously, it was good audio there from Coach Butler. Dove in some tackling, some of the things you deal with as a coach and as potentially as a player as you get through this thing that we call two-a-days or fall camp. But we want to pivot from that. I think, Austin, I sent you the article of they had a poll of the top or the 5 coaches that are on the hottest hot seat. I mean, it was interesting, man. I mean, because obviously Billy Napier's on there. I have to look. I think Brian Kelly's on there. I know Brian Kelly's on there.
Mm-hmm.
He stay on the hot
I think
seat.
Venables was there.
Red Venables is on there. What's my man from USC?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley was on there.
He's got a huge buyout, though.
And the one that is kind of, I guess, in the coaching world might be set up for failure, Mike Gundy. Homeboy, alum.
20-year stalwart.
Quote machine. Took a pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was a whole thing where it kind of was down to the 23rd hour whether they were going to get a contract done. Because they felt like they could fire him for cause.
Mm-hmm. They were not able to.
Yeah, so essentially he's on
back.
a one year prove it. And he's had to dive into more of the portal. He's had to take a pay cut and put it into recruiting and assistance and building a recruiting department. So those are some pretty good coaches. I mean, if you rank them here, according, I'm assuming these coaches are ranked, right? And number 1 on the hot seat is Brett Venables. Number 2 is Lincoln Riley. Number 3 is Mike Gundy. Number 4 is Billy Napier. 5, Brian Kelly. I think number 4, Billy Napier being at number 4, I think is the oddest one. And Lincoln Riley being number 2. Brett Venables, that's sure.
Mhm.
And it's by all assumptions, they're gonna have a better year this year than last year. And then Lincoln Riley is weird that he's that high because of what they did to get him,
Mhm.
how they got him, and his buyout. So I'll let you know that according to this, people in USC are not happy.
I do wonder what the sourcing is on that. If there is reporting, done by talking to Jen Cohen at USC. I mean, she's in a huge spot.
Yeah.
Paid a lot to get him. You're yoink him away from, being Bob Stoops' successor to go from Oklahoma to USC, blue blood to blue blood. That's a crazy move. Paid him a lot of money to do it because you had to. In terms of performance, hasn't lived up, to everything that they thought he would be. I would say he's probably been better than Venables. Close.
Well, you had Caleb Williams in the first year there. They were doing some things. The last year was kind of a dud. I think
because the first year they made the bowl, they got beat by Tulane.
Yeah, I would say no.
You take Venables over Riley right now?
Yeah, because Lincoln Riley had been a head coach before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He took a lot of Brett Venables players from Oklahoma.
Well, what do you mean? Because Venables came from Clemson.
Yeah, but then when he left,
he took players that Venables couldn't have.
Yeah, from Oklahoma.
Gotcha.
So so essentially look, Spencer Rattler leave. So you start without a quarterback. You would like to say, okay, at least Spencer Rattler would have stayed.
He did not.
Right. And then because you got kind of the guy that quote unquote beat Caleb Williams out. Caleb Williams beat him out. He gone. And then Spencer Rattler is over in
South Carolina.
Now you're starting at 0 and you're kind of getting the job secondhand. Did Oklahoma really because everybody thought that he was going to LSU. He said no. Oklahoma was like, cool, we got him for another year. And we got Caleb.
Right.
Not so fast, my friend.
5377 says, why no Luke Fickell in the top 5?
Buyout.
USC's got more money. They also have a bigger buyout.
And they have more money. So it's easier for USC to come up with the money than versus Wisconsin.
So is next year the hot seat year for Fickell? Is 1 year make that big a difference? So you still have 2 years before you start thinking about it?
Probably make or break because this year that schedule is serious.
Is it ever?
Yeah.
If you go into this year,
I think he's like Tom Allen was in Indiana. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing, where you can really say we've done this, we've improved, have an upset victory, maybe get to that 6 wins.
Last year's team only wins 2 against the schedule, maybe 3.
Yeah.
We got them to 5. Could have been 6.
6, right.
Yeah.
It's got to be aesthetically pleasing.
I'm not sure Wisconsin and aesthetically pleasing have gotten together in a long time.
It can't be blowout city.
No.
And you can't not look competitive. You have to have an identity on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, generally you can just dice it up. It's an effort and we got to cover and all that. And you can kind of formulate that pretty easy. Offensively, they have been
lost in the wilderness.
Yeah, they've been lost in space.
The one that I want to hit on here, Jay, though, is Mike Gundy. Because I really thought with Texas and Oklahoma dipping for the SEC, I thought Oklahoma State was in really good position. Gundy'd been there, a lot of talent. That's no disrespect to Kyle Whittingham, Utah, really good coach, coming in from the Pac-12 wing. Arizona and Arizona State should have plenty of talent available to them at all times. TCU, same sort of thing. But I thought Oklahoma State would have been in that conversation more consistently. But the fact that they've ceded some of that ground to Iowa State, that's a credit to Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
I think you feel more confident about the direction for Kansas State under Kleiman.
Yeah.
And even Kansas, right? It's still Kansas, right? Not a perfect year last year for Leipold with Jalen Daniels up and down and injured. But Kansas is more in that conversation at the top. Colorado is more in that conversation at the top than Oklahoma State
BYU.
was. BYU.
Yeah, I
as
mean,
well.
I think Oklahoma State, once Oklahoma left and Texas left, you'd be like, oh, this is our time.
Mhm.
They look worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
with all that returning production, Ollie Gordon back, and they do that.
it looked like they had a lot of time on their hands and they believed the hype. Kind of like we talked about with the Colts earlier. You're in a small little town, and you're not small. Indy's not a small town, but you're the
Smaller market for the NFL.
Yeah, smaller
Yeah.
market. Same with same with
Stillwater.
Mm-hmm. And Oklahoma's gone. So the big brother, they're gone, and then you kind of gain some fanfare because they left.
Mm-hmm.
And then you riding high, riding up and down the road to Oklahoma City and going
Tulsa,
to casinos and stuff, riding high. And you figured like you're gonna rinse and repeat because that Bedlam game was pretty good. Now that game's gone. Now we're gonna really run it. Then here comes Colorado. Here comes Kansas is always just like a thorn, well coached. And then here's Kansas.
Well, they had the better
Iowa
quarterbacks
State.
at those places. Same with Iowa State.
Then here comes Arizona State with limited resources. The dude didn't he just say he wanted an indoor facility?
Mm-hmm. He wants an indoor facility.
Yeah.
He doesn't have one.
He said it's hot. He's like
in Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, he said, man, how many games we got win to get an indoor facility? He'll be on to his next job by the time they build it. But what I'm saying, so you felt like, okay, we can run it. And then they probably were telling themselves, oh, BYU and Utah got to adjust us. Well, BYU and Utah came down, well, at least BYU came down, busting your head open to the white meat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some issues with the powers that be, obviously, over the 20 years. They had been waiting and lurking.
For this moment.
For this moment. All my life. They had some built-up animosity. I can't wait. And they almost had him out the door. It was breaking news down there that they kept it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think he's in a 1-year prove it. He's kind of, I wouldn't say he's like Kirk Ferentz because Kirk Ferentz continues to win, but I think when they brought in a new AD, essentially specifically to fire his son, that's kind of like the same deal.
That and the Fran McCaffrey thing.
Yeah.
That was why that AD was brought in. Handle the Ferentzes, handle men's basketball. Don't let women's basketball fall by the wayside. Obviously, there's a changing of the guard there as well. But that's where Oklahoma State, baseball's in good hands. They're a NCAA tournament team they've hosted recently. Basketball just got a new coach. They were floundering in mid for the better part of 4 or 5 years. Bring in a new coach. Not a big splash hire. Now that Mike Boynton was before, but Steve Lutz coming in from Western Kentucky didn't exactly light the world on fire. So that puts, I think, even more pressure on Gundy. Because if baseball is going to be your best sport in the Big 12,
and we're going to cut back. Well, yeah, then we're cutting way back on everything.
Yeah.
Basketball's getting a pass, and basketball will get some more money. But I also think this is the thing, just like with Tom Allen and Mike Gundy and Luke Fickell, but more or less, with Mike Gundy, it's aesthetic. Aesthetics are a big deal. But then also, when Tom Allen was at Indiana, magically, when they hired Kirk Cignetti, they got an influx of NIL money, and they found a way to pay him.
Doesn't that always crack you up? Like, why don't we just give the new coach the money or the old coach the money? See what he can do with those resources. The guy's had a track record of success, and you say, oh, I need a little bit more money. Just give the guy more money. Why does it take the new exciting splash hire?
They probably figured
to get
like
more money?
Tom Allen, maybe isn't the head coach, and we need some. I don't know what they were. I'm sure. Obviously it worked out, but yeah, where they had no NIL support, and that's obviously, based on the state of the program. I think Indiana is a byproduct of having that successful season, which essentially they were an Iowa version of Big Ten champs, COVID Big Ten champs. And you had some legendary, you were in their football thing, had legendary performances that got them there.
Yeah.
Michael Penix goes to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They lose the 2 receivers. Then they lose all their McFadden and all those guys that created havoc with the turnovers and led the nation in turnovers and turnover margin. All that talent is gone, and you can't replace that as readily as Ohio State. Like, nobody really is worrying about Ohio State's defense, and they really have a lot of missing parts. But they just they get the benefit of the doubt, and they've recruited and developed. Indiana, you're essentially your starters there's a difference.
Yeah.
And then then you continue along and you're not able to replace that. It really put Tom Allen in a bad spot. But then they knocked it out of the park with Cignetti. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Gundy, how they play, and if they're successful, he's still there. But if they're not, what does this new guy get that Gundy wasn't getting moving forward? Or do you go the under the radar hire like they did with basketball and kind of build it up from the ground up?
Oklahoma State is not like a huge power player in college athletics, but it's a good enough, respectable enough program. They should be able to get someone, right? If they want to go get their version of Lance Leipold, that should be doable, right? They're not going to poach from an SEC job unless it's a coordinator. Would they be able to pull, I don't know, like Boise State's guy? I think he's an alum, so he's probably not leaving. Yeah. But could you pull Boise's guy? If Mullen has a couple good years at UNLV, could you get him?
You maybe could get him. You could get what's the dude that just left South Dakota State to go to Washington State?
Oh yeah,
you could get him.
Yeah.
Just trying to think. You could get a coach like that. I think Oklahoma State is a unique place to coach though as well.
Or would they maybe be inclined to take a swing on like a Tom Allen? Hey, you want one last coaching gig? Get us back on the road to stability and
maybe Jim Knowles.
Knowles, ooh.
Well, because of how he left.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Oklahoma State isn't as much as they got to hire like homegrown like Oklahoma, but I think it takes that's where fit comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be you have to know where to look for talent. You got to be able to build a program. You got to you got to be able to kind of come in with that Kirk Cignetti. I'm bringing my quarterback, I'm bringing my running back, a couple of DBs and all that. And then that's how you make up that ground that was lost, obviously in this case by Mike Gundy. So anyways, we'll see what happens. A lot going on. We're going to take a quick break, come back, talk about a little preseason action last night. It was the battle of the stay-in holdouts last night, Bengals and the Commanders. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
The trip of the summer is coming. Collective Soul live. Summer Unity Tour 2025, August 21st, Pinewood Bowl Theater in Lincoln's Pioneers Park with Our Lady Peace. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Collective Soul live. Our Lady Peace together.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, quick segment before we turn it over to Teammates Tuesdays. And I think it's Ashton and Des Moines coming in and doing their thing with Teammates. Great organization, obviously started and led by Coach Osborne. Des Moines and Ashton is taking it to a whole new level. What's been taken to a whole new level is the holdout length of Trey Hendrickson and my man Scary Terry McLaurin, both their teams respectively. Squared off last night. It's interesting that at this point you're like a week or two away and you don't have your number one receiver as far as the Commanders in camp, or he's in camp but not signed. And the guy that's led the league in sacks 2 years in a row. It's also a weird situation because they have agreed on the number. It's the guaranteed money. And that'll tell you everything about negotiations. In the NFL, you want the guaranteed money because that's only the money that really matters.
Yeah. Because the average value of it per year is in line.
Yeah.
But like you said,
because that doesn't mean anything if you have a down year, which you most likely would have because he hasn't been in camp or been able to, practice what I think he's obviously been working out. But now they can say, okay, now you're not worth that second year or that third year. And so that's where you have guys that are held out this long. Whereas the Commanders, I think they like Terry McLaurin. I don't think they love him like a number one.
Or they love him, not to that price, and they trust Jaden Daniels to elevate whoever they put in that role.
And that could set Jaden Daniels up for epic failure. Because why? It's the sophomore slump. And it's not by anything of his doing. It's that they have a whole year of film on you. Your number one option isn't there. Yes, you got Debo, but they're totally two different receivers.
Debo ordered a couple number ones.
Yeah, with extra cheese. and you got the what they say, you want a medium or large, you got the large. And then obviously you got to think, Zach Ertz is another year older. Now you're trying to get rid of one of your leaders in the locker room in Robinson. Bobby Wagner's a year older, even though still very productive. And then you don't have your guy on the outside that made some huge plays, game-winning plays for you last year, signed, and it's getting close to camp. And no different than Michael Parsons, is no different than obviously Trey Hendrickson, and no different than obviously we speaking about Terry McLaurin. It is not a fun time for those young men and their agents, and then obviously their football team.
Because you can only assume those guys actually wouldn't be out there playing football. They don't want to be sitting on their butt at home waiting around for news, right? Sure, they're out at training camp, maybe not participating like you said. They're around the team.
They go home during. Did you see the video? Bobby Wagner was walking to practice. Terry McLaurin was leaving because he was at meetings, and then he's like, "I ain't staying out here at practice. I'm out." He probably went somewhere and got a workout in. So it's great that the stay in is happening, right? You like to stay in to be at the start of training camp, and you're trying to work out the little details. The contract is pretty much done.
You can say, "Oh, you're a veteran. We're gonna give you a couple days off anyways."
Right? Or you just until the contract is finished. I'm gonna stay in. God forbid these dudes are staying in dorms. Just imagine that you're doing the stay in, and I mean, granted, you're going to do that because you don't want to get fined, but I think Cincinnati is trying to get Trey Hendrickson to sign a Cincinnati Bengals friendly deal like they did with Stewart. It lets you know they really don't think they're going to be that good, and they overspend on offense. And then I think with the Commanders, I think they like Terry McLaurin as their number one receiver at their price, and that's probably below market value.
Which is where you have to understand how deals work and that they're a compromise, right? Because every player wants 100% of the salary cap. They know they can't get it,
Yeah,
and every owner wants to pay them, $300,000 on rookie scales for their whole career. And that's not realistic.
No.
So you have to understand that, you got to meet in the middle at some point, right? Players aren't going to get everything. Ownership isn't going to get everything. So that's where I think it's the tactful negotiation, figuring out what is really important. For Trey Hendrickson, it's been obvious the whole time. It's the guarantees, right? Terry McLaurin, maybe it's not so obvious what exactly he's seeking, right? Is it the $66 million that I think his camp put out? Or is that just the front? This is my number, meet it. Or what other condition could be met that he resigns and he plays for, say, 60 million or 58 million, something to that degree.
Yeah, I think he's been around enough and been overlooked enough and been consistent enough, and obviously in the locker room, a big influence, obviously, in the locker room, considering that when the new ownership group came in, he was one of the players that they brought to the press conference. So I'm sure he's not trying to, break the bank, but he wanted to make sure that he gets paid what he thinks he's worth. And, it goes back and forth, but it can, negotiations, the way the NFL negotiates, you hear them say stuff about you as a player, and then you got to go play for them, and so I think with him, the biggest thing he's looking for is the respect, and the respect came from, or the lack of it in his mind, the timing or the lack of timing is taken, or how much time it's taken for him to get paid. So now this is more of a Dan Quinn thing once he's signed, but the biggest thing he has to get signed, because I think Dan Quinn can mend those type of things, and that's what
part of why you hired him.
Part of why you hired him. Team building, he does a really good job. His personality and is infectious, and that's part of the reason why they played so well last year. But unfortunately for them, they're not signed, and so unfortunately for everybody else, our Tuesday 2 hours is over. We're turning it over to Ashton and teammates. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school. We'll holler at you tomorrow.